Hey guys, welcome to the first video on this channel, first official video on this channel. And why not start off with the playoff predictions for the NBA? While I'm doing this video, actually, Golden State and Memphis are playing right now, so we really don't have a clear 8th seed, but I'm just gonna make a prediction for that as well, I guess, honestly, whoever wins, I don't think they're gonna make that much of a difference to my predictions. But let's get straight into it. Let's start off right off the bat with the first versus the 8th seed, which is going to be Utah versus one of Golden State or Memphis. I think, honestly, if it's Memphis, I think Utah's going to sweep them. At most, I think I'll go 5 games because Donovan Mitchell's not been playing and he's been injured. But, if he comes back, just how he was playing before, and the Utah Jazz team is strong as defensively as they were, they're going to sweep Memphis. But if it's Golden State, I don't see Golden State winning either. But I do see Curry probably getting them 2 games. Utah doesn't have a game plan for Curry. What is that? I guess they could just do a box and 1 or something, or like triple team them. Which I guess they're going to definitely do that. But if I was to make a prediction, I'm probably going to say Utah in 5. I think Curry is definitely going to get them 1 game. If Golden State can't get 1 game, then that's going to be tough because Curry is an MVP candidate. So, come on, you can at least get 1 game, bro. Come on. But Utah really shouldn't be worrying about this series, to be honest. Yeah, I just don't see it, honestly. But anyways, let's move on to the next one. So it's Phoenix versus the Lakers. Suns versus the Lakers. Now, this is also going to be one of those series where I think it's just not a good matchup, honestly. Suns just don't match up with the Lakers whatsoever. I think Lakers are going to finish this in 5, to be honest. They got no match for, it's just a horrible mismatch. It's tough because Chris Paul is probably is really the main man on this team, leader, and second seed due to a lot of his game plan and his game. But there's just no way they're beating LeBron and the Lakers, bro. If they do, I'll hug my L. I'll hug my L with a smile on my face. But the chances are just really slim. I think Phoenix is gonna get 1 game. I might be wrong, I'll hug my hell, but I just don't see it happening, honestly. But it's just the matchups just don't fit well because you gotta think of it from this perspective. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, he might cause problems, but they got perimeter defenders for him. They got Caruso, they got Caldwell Pope, and obviously they're not gonna stop him from doing what D-Book does best, which is drop buckets. But they're gonna do a decent job. Whereas on the other side, Jay Crowder and Mikal Bridges are probably gonna be the starters. They ain't doing nothing to LeBron and AD. For real. You may stop AD 1 game or stop LeBron 1 game, but stopping LeBron for 4 games? Nah, you're just tripping at that point. And especially when AD goes to the 5, DeAndre Ayton is not an aggressive center, so he's not going to take advantage of mismatches a lot. So when they move AD to the 5 and expose DeAndre Ayton defensively, because that's probably gonna do it. You're probably gonna see that a lot. DeAndre Ayton guarding AD because they're gonna run the 5 because Andre Drummond he's not that nice. If you didn't know that, I don't think I had to tell you guys though. But you know the vibes. But all in all, that's Lakers in 5. Simple. Let's go on the 3 and 6 matchup, which is Denver and Portland. Now this is probably the first upset for me, which is Portland in 6. But damn, Denver could really win this. Portland's not that elite team, honestly. I'm excited for this matchup because I think this matchup's gonna be pretty heat. But without Jamal Murray, they're gonna miss him a lot in the playoffs. I feel like, cause Monte Morris, Austin Rivers, and Campazzo are not doing anything what Jamal Murray does. And Jokic may be the MVP, but Jokic he's gonna be guarded by Robert Covington. He's probably gonna be double teamed. He's gonna be trapped. It's a lot of work for him and Michael Porter Jr. And Aaron Gordon is not a guy who you can count on to draw buckets. And Michael Porter Jr. This is probably his first playoffs actually having a main scoring role. And even then, like I said, he's gonna have Robert Covington on him. He's gonna have Derrick Jones Jr. on him. But I still think he's gonna drop buckets. I think Michael Porter Jr. is gonna have a great series, but I just don't think they have enough. But I mean, if you go for Denver, I'm literally not blaming you because like Portland has not been living up to the expectations, and defensively they can be exposed. And Jokic is one of the guys who could expose them. After all, he is the MVP. But hey, we'll see. But this series is definitely a must-watch because it's going to be really competitive, and it's a must-watch. Trust. And last matchup in the Western Conference for the first round is Clippers and Mavs. Rematch of actually last year in the first round. But this time KP's healthy. I think Clippers are going to win this again. I think it's going to be a 6-game as well. I think Dallas is actually going to be a really tough team, but I don't think they're going to have enough because Luka's going to be getting it a lot of matchups from Kawhi and PG and Marcus Morris, and it's going to be really tough for Luka, but Luka did prove us wrong last year, so I should probably not doubt him, but I just think like the Clippers are way more motivated this year. I mean, Rondo's an addition, Serge Ibaka another addition. These guys are gonna make this team better. I mean, big reason why the Clippers were just really atrocious last year was because they had no playmaker. They had no guy on the court leading and assigning plays. I think Rondo's gonna be that difference maker for them in this playoffs. I mean, not a difference like a crazy difference maker, but enough to set some goddamn pace on the court. And Ibaka, who's a guy who can space the floor. And if Ibaka doesn't work out, they always have Zubac. I don't think they're going to use Zubac a lot because Porzingis is most likely going to run the 5. So you're going to need a guy like Ibaka to be out there. But I think this is going to be a good series to watch for sure. And I mean, Mavericks can really pull off the upset too, to be honest. I mean, is there anybody really trusting the Clippers 100% this playoffs? I mean, especially after last year's, you know what I'm saying. So, I mean, everyone should definitely watch this series though. I think it's Luka versus Kawhi. Must watch TV, bro. And that sums up my first rounds. I said Clippers in 6, right? Clippers in 6 is my prediction. So let's move on to the second round. Second round, we're gonna have probably, I said Utah and the Clippers, and then we're gonna have Lakers and I said Lakers and Portland. I said Portland 6. So Lakers and Portland. Lakers and Portland. 5 games, easy. Lakers 5 games. I mean, come on. Like if the Lakers beat the Suns, Portland's not gonna give them trouble, bro. Come on, like I know there's Dame fans out there. I know one of my guys is Dame fans, but like let's be real, bro. Let's cut to the chase. I mean, Dame ain't doing nothing like that. Dame might get you 2 games. I just don't see it, bro. They're gonna win 1 game, that's for sure. And Dame's gonna do his Dame time thing. He's gonna do his dance. CJ's gonna say, "You guys counted us out and shit." But come on, like. Same story, bro. We know what's gonna happen. Like Lakers are gonna beat y'all. If it ain't in 5, it's gonna be in 6. I mean, Nurkic ain't gonna do nothing. I mean, AD's dropped buckets on it before. Y'all remember that series? I know y'all do. Dennis Schroeder, Caldwell Pope, they're gonna do a decent job on McCollum and Lillard. And I mean, they run Powell in the starting lineup, and I love my guy Powell, but he's 6'4". I mean, you're starting him against a team that's gonna run LeBron, AD, and a center on the lineup. That's just, I mean, Powell's probably going to have to come off the bench in some lineups, right? Or am I tripping? He has to. I mean, is Powell going to guard LeBron? I mean, I'm saying this as the Raptors fan. I mean, that's not a good matchup. On the other side, we have Clippers in Utah. This series is going to go far. I feel like it is. Because if Utah is really who they are, like a defensive beast, a team that can clamp up a lot of teams, a team like the Spurs or the Pistons, then this series will go far. Because with Rudy Gobert in the paint, that's going to be a lot of perimeter shots coming from the Clippers side. And can they hit those shots is going to be the real question. Because if they don't, then it's a wrap. I think Utah's going to win it. But I'm going to say Clippers in 7. I'm going to say Clippers in 7. But part of me doesn't think Utah has enough scoring from them. Nah, that's not true, though. They play really good as a team. Like, I've seen some Utah games, and they play really well as a team. Their playmaking, there's chemistry, such A1. It has such good flow in their offense. So, like, that's why, like, Utah could really win this series, but I'm just hoping Utah can keep their pace, and, like, hopefully, I don't think Utah are contenders. Man, should I change my opinion? No, I'm going to stick with Clippers at 7. Clippers at 7. Because I also think Ibaka is going to be an X factor in this series. And I'll be speaking of Ibaka. I'm a Raptors fan, if y'all didn't know. So I'm going to talk with my Raptor players, ex-Raptor players, because I want to. All right, and y'all can do shit. But Ibaka can be an X factor in this series. Because Ibaka is hitting his threes. That's pulling Rudy Gobert out the paint, which is going to help the Clippers a lot. I don't know if the Clippers are going to run their small lineup, which is usually a point guard like Reggie Jackson or Rondo, and then Batum, Kawhi, PG, and Morris. Because they're going to have Rudy Gobert, but I think they're going to try it. And who knows how that might go. It can go one of two ways, because a lineup like that is going to definitely pull Rudy Gobert out the paint, but at the same time, you got to hit your threes, you got to hit your shots if you're going to do some game plan like that. But I'm going to go with Clippers in 7. So right now I'm going to have Clippers and Lakers in the conference final. This series is going to be amazing. Oh my God, we missed out on the last year because the Clippers goddamn choked a 3-1 lead. But this year, it's got to happen, man. It's got to happen. I mean, the only thing we're missing is fans. I mean, but shoot, Clippers fans aren't missing those, because if they had fans in there, it's going to be all Lakers fans. All Lakers fans. Even the Clippers home games, that's going to be a Lakers home game. So even if they have 50% capacity, I mean, Clipper fans got to be celebrating for that, honestly. But this series, I mean, I think it's going to be really interesting. And if you say the Clippers, I don't even think you're tripping. I mean, Clippers could pull this off. But I'm not doubting the king. I just can't. You know what I'm saying? I'm a guy who lived through LeBron, so I just can't doubt the king. And they don't really got a guy for AD. They really don't. I mean, how many of y'all confidently saying Marcus Morris is clamping up AD? Ibaka is clamping up AD. Zubac is clamping up AD. No, that's just all cap. AD is gonna feast on the Clippers team. And when they run AD at the 5, I guess they're gonna have to run Ibaka, because Marcus Morris ain't doing it. Paul George, sorry, nah. Kawhi, nah. Batum, nah. Yeah, they just don't. But I do think Rondo's gonna be an impactor in this series, because Rondo's also played for his team, so he's gonna tell them all their tricks. Damn, I gotta hurry up. I haven't even talked about the Eastern Conference side. But anyways, I'm gonna say Lakers in 7. I don't trust the Clippers. I just don't. Even though Doc Rivers is not there, I just don't trust them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't choose the Clippers. I can't choose the Clippers against LeBron. I may be wrong, but I'll hug my L. I mean, shoot, if LeBron is one of the best to ever play the game, I mean, shoot, I'm not voting against him. The fuck? Lakers in 7. Lakers in 7, for sure. So I got Lakers heading into the finals, and now who's gonna head on to the Eastern Conference playoffs? Who's gonna win the Eastern Conference? Let's start off the first round. Let's start with the first one. Oh my God! So my favorite player is Westbrook. So as much as I love Westbrook, Philly in 5. I lied, bro. I tried giving Westbrook 1 game. I can't give him 1 game. Philly in 4, bro. Beal's still injured. Low-key, he's still injured. Westbrook's been moving weird. I mean, although they won that game, he just wasn't moving the same in the other games, like against the Celtics and stuff. Like, he wasn't moving quick. Decision-making was not on point. And Davis Bertans, man, I don't trust that guy at all, bro. Philly's a defensive-minded team. I mean, they got Mans. Ben Simmons, Danny Green, Tobias Harris, Matisse Thybulle, these guys are all men that are capable of guarding a Bradley Beal or Westbrook. I want to give them one game so bad, but to be honest, I don't think Wizards are gonna win one game. I mean, shoot, I would love to be wrong, but I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening, man. And I'm not even talking about the fact that Joel Embiid is gonna be guarded by Robin Lopez and Alex Len. Like, god damn, bro. God damn, bro. We about to see a massacre on live television, bro. Take that shit in. Daniel Gafford, he's nice, but man, B don't care. Like, Embiid's still gonna feast. He's gonna drop his numbers. That's an easy double double. Like, that's easy 20 and nah, Embiid's dropping 30 per game. Honestly, bro, we got no match for him. Like, thing is, even if you double team off, he's gonna pass it off to who? Seth Curry? Yup, easy. Danny Green? Easy, probably. Tobias Harris? Butter. Ben Simmons, he's probably gonna be in the dunker spot or something, right? So, like, it's just this. Nah, we just gotta hug the rail on that part. We made the playoffs. We just gotta celebrate that, honestly. I don't know if I'm gonna watch Wizards game. I probably will, but just because Westbrook's my guy. But I might turn off at halftime still. All right, but what's next? Boston and Brooklyn. Brooklyn in 4. Come on, quit playing, bro. Like, Tatum had to drop 50. Kemba dropped like 29, and Tatum dropped 50 against the Wizards to win, and they had a total of 118 points. Take that in. Take that in, bro. Tatum had to drop 50 and 29 to beat this Washington Wizards team, bro. That's my team, but like, still, like, they're not that nice, bro. Brooklyn is about to destroy this team. They don't have enough offensive firepower. They really don't. I mean, Marcus Smart, he's an all-NBA defender. Don't get it twisted. But let's say even if he does put the clamps on Kyrie, who the heck is guarding harder than KD? And the biggest weakness that Brooklyn has is they don't have a big man. And who else who doesn't have? Guess who else who doesn't have a big man? Boston. Wow, amazing, isn't it? So Brooklyn is probably gonna run small ball. It's gonna be able to run it. Because if Tristan Thompson is not creating problems like that, bro. If Tristan Thompson dropping buckets on me, I'm letting him drop buckets on me. That's the only way he's getting buckets, honestly. I'm letting him drop buckets. I mean, who else they got? They got Robert Williams. I mean, he can catch lobs. I mean, but they're going to be catching lobs while Brooklyn's going to be hitting threes on threes. Because they're going to run that lineup of Kyrie, Harden, Joe Harris, KD, and Jeff Green, probably. And if Jeff Green ain't hitting his threes, and then shoot, Blake Griffin, are you hitting your threes? And if Blake Griffin's hitting your threes, then it's just tough. It's tough. Shoot, they might even run Blake Griffin or Jeff Green, and they might put Landry Shamet just to get more threes. Y'all keep on forgetting they got Mike D'Antoni as an assistant coach. That guy all about threes. So I just think Celtics got no chance in this series, bro. That's Brooklyn 4, bro. Brooklyn 4. 2 sweeps so far in the East. 3-6 matchup. Miami and Milwaukee. This is gonna be interesting. This is gonna go one of two ways. This is gonna be a competitive series where Miami will really have a chance to pull this shit off and beat them, or it's gonna be just going Milwaukee's way. Literally, I don't think there's only like. It's just that I think I'm gonna go Milwaukee in 6, bro. It's just that Miami doesn't have enough scoring. I feel like Jrue Holiday's way better than Eric Bledsoe. And they're going to run a small ball lineup, right? Where most likely they're going to have Jrue Holiday, DiVincenzo, Chris Middleton, PJ Tucker, and Giannis, which is going to be amazing, I feel like, in the playoffs. That's going to do damage. And, like, it's just so tough because can Goran Dragic and Duncan Robinson, Tyler Herro do what they did last year? That's the real question. I mean, yeah, last year. Do what they did in the bubble. That's the biggest question. I think that's going to be the biggest question of the series. Because if they can't do anything along what they did, Milwaukee's going to take advantage of that easily. And not to get a twist, I mean, Drew Holiday, he's an all NBA defender. So if Drew Holiday is guarding Tyler Hero, Tyler Hero's not dropping buckets that game. I hope you guys know that. But if you choose Miami, I mean, it's not impossible for them to pull off the upset. I see a scenario where Miami does win. I really do. But I'm not gonna go that route. I think Milwaukee's gonna win this in 6, and I think Giannis has gotta be like having some type of energy that he's going against his team again. Like Milwaukee is 6, bro. Even though Jimmy Butler's, y'all seen that pic of Jimmy Butler? He's looking buff, but like that's not gonna be enough, bro. That's not gonna be enough. Especially if Giannis is mean mugging. It's up. It's up. It's up. Last matchup, which I think is the most balanced series in the whole playoffs, probably. New York versus, in the first round, I mean. New York versus Atlanta. This series is probably gonna go, I think it's gonna go 7. I'm gonna go Knicks in 7. I trust the Knicks more. I like the thing about the Knicks is, first of all, they got Tom Thibodeau, they got Derrick Rose, they got these players who've been through a lot of playoff experience, and I know Julius Randle, they have some young guys too, but like they got some veterans that I just like, and I feel like New York's defense is gonna be a really big factor. Even though Atlanta's been playing great defense, but Trae Young and John Collins are players who aren't great defensively, and they're gonna be players who are most likely gonna be playing 40 minutes. Well, Trae Young's gonna have to at least be playing 40 minutes. At least. John Collins, expect him to play at least 35. Those are your 2 stars, right? They're gonna get a lot of minutes. Clint Capella's gonna be a problem, but I feel like when you got Rose Noel, that's gonna help. This is gonna be an interesting series though. Like I wouldn't not be surprised if I was completely wrong and the Hawks won in 7 games. Because Trae Young, who knows what he might do. This is Trae Young's first time in the playoffs as well. So we got a lot of new people in the playoffs in this round. A lot of young guys. But I'm going to trust my gut. I'm going to say Knicks in 7. Especially Madison Square Garden, bro. If they're allowing a good amount of fans, that's going to be loud as hell. I think the New York Knicks defense is going to be too much for the Hawks. And it's going to be scenarios where Derrick Rose or an RJ Barrett is just going to take advantage of Trae Young as a mismatch. You know what I'm saying? But hey, don't get it twisted. If Hawks win, good for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter, honestly, which one of these teams win, because Philadelphia's going to beat them in 4 games. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm being disrespectful. My bad. 5 games. Yeah, I'm not going to be... chill out, bro. If you think it's going to 6 games, you dreaming, buddy. 5 games max. Come on, bro. Nerves as well. Like, the Knicks win, I think the Knicks are gonna make it right. So, nah. It just doesn't work out matchups wise. Now, hey, if Derrick Rose goes back in his prime, that's a whole different question. But that's probably like a 1% chance happening. I just think Embiid's gonna feast, whether it be Randall, whether it be Taj Gibson, whether it be Nerlens Noel. And like I said, Embiid's got shooters on his team, so even if he double team him, he's gonna find a shooter and he's gonna score buckets. But I'm gonna watch this series just to see how the Knicks game plan for a player like Embiid. Like I said, the Knicks are one of the top defensive teams this year, so it's gonna be interesting to see how they game plan against Embiid. And do they sag off Simmons? The matchup's gonna be interesting for sure. That's for sure. Tobias Harris, like I said, I have not mentioned Tobias Harris at all, but he's been playing amazing this season. Like, really good this season. So don't just brush off Tobias Harris like I've accidentally done. He can get a solid 20 per game, especially if y'all not taking him serious. Especially, like, I'm trying to think, like, New York Knicks, their starting lineup. Yeah. But then again, like I said, Madison Square Garden, that's going to be a big factor. If you got fans yelling and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Who knows? Nah, like, we know. Yeah, 6 and 5. Now here comes the best series of the second round. I think of the whole playoffs. Milwaukee versus Brooklyn. I'm gonna go Brooklyn in 7, bro. This series is gonna be heat, though. This series is gonna be heat. Oh my god. But I just think it's gonna come down to like, the thing about it is Milwaukee's scoring at the end. Who's gonna be the closer? The thing about Brooklyn is they got loads of closers. They got KD, they got Kyrie, they got Harden. Giannis can't close games, so it's gonna be Middleton or Holiday. And Middleton, I don't know. I just don't like Middleton being the closer of my team, but there's no buts. But all in all, this is gonna be a great season. This is gonna be a great series, bro. Milwaukee could definitely beat this team, bro, if they play their cards right. But the reason I'm choosing Brooklyn, honestly, is because of Mike Budenholzer, bro. Mike Budenholzer, as a coach, if you look at his past history, he just always has these playoff failures. And it's because he never adjusts his game plan. He always sticks to a rotation. He always just doesn't change what he has to do. And I'm always gonna go back to the Raptors series where, for example, when we put Kawhi on Giannis, that was an adjustment change. They didn't really do nothing like that. For example, Eric Bledsoe wasn't playing nice, so what do? You bench him. Eric Bledsoe was not benched that whole series. He wasn't. Even though George Hill was outplaying him. They kept on playing Eric Bledsoe so many minutes. No, if Eric Bledsoe's playing trash, bench him, bro. I mean, they don't have anymore, so it's going to be interesting, but I just don't trust Mike Budenholzer. And I think he's going to get outcoached. And it's just a lot to handle for this Brooklyn team. Like I said, if Brooklyn makes it to the second round, that means things are going right. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, time will tell. But Kyrie and Harden and KD, Jrue Holiday is a great defender, but he can only guard one player at a time. How much are you going to ask from Jrue Holiday? And if Jrue Holiday is putting as much effort as I think he will defensively, offensively, will he get the same contribution? This Milwaukee team is really good. But this Brooklyn team is just elite. Man, they really are. They're a superstar. They're a super team, I mean. They really are. You can argue they got 3 of the top offensive scorers of the decade. Hands down, like, on some real shit. 3 of the top offensive scorers of the decade, bro. When these guys get hot, they do not miss. KD, unguardable. Harden, unguardable. Kyrie, if Kyrie's hitting his shots, it's game. Man, I'm sorry, Milwaukee fans, but I'm gonna go Brooklyn in 7, bro. Brooklyn in 7. Last round, conference finals for the East. Brooklyn versus Philly. Now, if Brooklyn goes through Milwaukee, that means they have the tools of going through the Sixers. I think Brooklyn's gonna win this in 6 games. Because I think Milwaukee's gonna be the biggest roadblock. But if they can get through Milwaukee, what makes them not get through the Sixers? I mean, same thing what I was talking about Jrue Holiday. He can only guard one player. And Ben Simmons, he's a Defensive Player of the Year finalist, but same thing goes for him. He can only guard one player. Now, although, like I said, Embiid, like, he's a great defender. Same thing with Giannis. These guys are great defenders and great paint defenders. But perimeter-wise, that's where Brooklyn team is going to go crazy. Threes over threes. I told y'all their game plan. Threes. Literally, it's going to be a lot of quick pace transition plays. And can the Sixers stop that? I just don't see it. It's going to be a lot to handle. I think it's going to be Brooklyn in 6. Now, obviously, there's a scenario where Milwaukee beats them, and it's Milwaukee and Sixers. But I'm like I said, I think it's going to be Brooklyn. And Brooklyn Sixers is, if Brooklyn beats Milwaukee, they can beat the Sixers then, for sure. Brooklyn 6. Now the finals. Yes, sir. The Lakers versus Brooklyn Nets. Here's the interesting part. If this series goes 7, Lakers are going to win this game. The Lakers are going to win. But if Brooklyn's going to win, it's going to be less than 7. I'm going to say Brooklyn in 6. reason I say that because Lakers, if they show flashes, if they have games where they beat this team, there's no way LeBron's losing a game 7 to this team. There's just no way. Oh man, AD has really scared me from this past play-in game, but I do think when AD warms up, they don't got a man for AD, bro. This is a lot of bad matchups from both sides. And as great as defenders of Alex Caruso are, and like I said, like, they may able to clamp one guy, but it's gonna be Harden and KD. Unless they do a good job on Harden. What about Kyrie? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a lot. This team is so hard to play against because of how do you determine the matchups? How do you know when to double team? How do you know not to double team? You know what I'm saying? Like, but like I said, the same questions that the Lakers are gonna be answering for Brooklyn Nets, Brooklyn is gonna be answering for the Lakers. How do we guard AD? How do we guard LeBron? A lot of the series is gonna be small ball. It is. Forget about the centers. I'm sorry, the DeAndre Jordans, the Andre Drummonds, y'all not getting no PT in this series because AD at the 5 is gonna be played a lot because they're gonna have to expose the mismatches. They don't got a man at all. Do not come at me and tell me Blake Griffin's a man to guard AD. That's just completely false. They got nobody for LeBron or AD. But like I said, it's vice versa. They don't got a man for KD or Harden. What is my final prediction, though? I mean, I haven't even been talking about Joe Harris either, bro. Like, these guys, it's just a lot to handle, this Brooklyn team, bro. I mean, I would be stressing the shit out if I was game planning against this team. Because, like, yo, how do you game plan against this team? For real. My final prediction, though. Brooklyn in 6. Yep, that's my final prediction. That's a long video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down below if you guys disagree with one of my predictions. I mean, I would love to debate, honestly. Hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe if you want to see more of this content, because I will be posting more content. And thank you guys.